Algebra 1, Sensei Learning System, solving two-step linear equations. Here we have x, an equation. It's on the left side, so we're going to work on the left to remove the subtracting 26 and the multiplying 6. So let's get rid of the subtracting 26 first by adding 26. And whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So add 26. So here we start from the left and work our way to the right. We bring down the 6x. The 26's cancel. Bring down the equal signs. And we have a negative and a positive. So it means that we're going to subtract. So the signs, if you have same signs, you add. These are not same signs. So 32 take away 26 is going to leave, let's see, 6. And the bigger number, 32, is negative, so the final answer is going to be negative. So it's negative 6. Now from here, that's a multiplying 6. And so to get rid of a multiplying 6, we use a dividing 6. What we do on one side, we do on the other side, dividing 6. And the 6's cancel, and you get just 1x. And this will equal negative 6 divided by 6, which is negative 1. And you can conclude that x equals negative 1. Number 2, we have x here on the left side, so we're going to work on the left side. We're going to get rid of the adding 12 and the multiplying 4. So first, getting rid of the adding 12 with the subtracting 12. What you do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other. So minus 12 here. The 4x comes down. The 12's cancel. The equals comes down. And you have a positive and a negative, so we're going to subtract. So 26 take away 12 leaves 14. The bigger number is positive, so the answer will be positive. Now to get rid of the multiplying 4, you usually use the dividing 4. What do we do on one side, we do on the other. Dividing 4 here. This gives us 1x, and this gives us 14 over 4. These both can be divided by 2, so we can simplify. So this will be just 1x, or single x, equals 7 over 2 as a final answer. Number 3, the x is on the left side here, so we'll have to get rid of the adding 6 and the multiplying negative 14. So getting rid of the adding 6 by subtracting 6, what we do to one side, we do to the other. And we bring down our multiplying negative 14x, the 6's cancel, equals comes down, and these are same signs. So these are same signs, so we're going to add 26, 22 and 6 makes 28. And you always use the sign of the bigger number, which is 22, so this will be a negative 28. Now from here, I need to get rid of the multiplying negative 14, so I'm going to divide by negative 14. And whatever I do with one side, I'll do to the other. So also here is a negative 14. The negative 14's cancel and become 1. We have 1x. And here 28 can be divided by 14 evenly. That goes in there 2 times. And we have a negative divided by negative, so our final answer is positive. So we conclude that x equals 2. Okay. Here, x is on the right side, so we're going to solve to the right. So we're going to get rid of the adding 18 and the multiplying 39. So the adding 18, we're going to use a subtracting 18 here. And what we do to one side, you do to the other. So put another subtracting 18 there. Okay, working from this side over, we have a positive and negative, okay, different signs, so we're going to subtract. So 18 take away 6 is going to be a 12. 18 is the bigger number and its sign is negative, so the final answer is going to be negative. Bring down the equal sign. The 18's cancel, and we're going to bring down the 39x. Now from here, to get rid of the multiplying 39, I want to use a dividing 39. And we do to one side, we do to the other. Okay, so this comes down as a negative 12 over a 39, and this becomes a 1x. Now, the 12 and the 39 can both be divided by 3. So let's divide both by 3. And we end up with a negative 4 over 13, and that is x. Okay, number 5. Number 5, we have a positive 8, or adding 8, and we have a negative here. That negative is really a negative 1. So let me expose it as a negative 1. So negative 1x plus 8 equals negative 6. And now I'll start the process of getting rid of the adding 8 by using subtracting 8. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So this comes down as negative 1x. The 8's cancel, equals, and same signs add, so 6 and 8 make 14. The bigger number is 8, and it's negative, so the final answer will be negative. Now, this is a multiplying negative 1, so we're going to divide by negative 1. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. So this will give us just 1x equals 14 divided by 1 is 14, and negative divided by negative will be positive. So that's positive 14. So we conclude that x is 14. Number 6. Once again, we have a negative x here, so we're going to expose the negative 1. So 4 minus 1 times x equals negative 5. And this is a left side problem, so we're going to get rid of the adding 4, and then we're going to get rid of the multiplying negative 1. So first the adding 4, so we'll subtract 4. What we do to one side, we do to the other. Okay, so the 4's will cancel. The negative 1x comes down, and here, and the equals comes down, and here we have the same sign. So same signs will add. So 5 and 4 make 9, and the bigger sign is negative 5, so that'll be negative 9. Now, finally, to get rid of the multiplying negative 1, we're going to divide by negative 1. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So we'll divide also by negative 1. This will give us 1x. Negative divided by negative is positive, so 1 divided by 1 will be 1. And here, 9 divided by 1 is 9. Here, negative divided by negative is positive, so we end up with x equals positive 9. Number 7. Once again, we have a negative x here, so we're going to expose the negative 1, so that's negative 1 times x plus 3. This is a right side problem, so we're going to get rid of the adding 3 and the multiplying negative 1. So let's start off with the adding 3 by subtracting 3. And what we do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other. Okay, so starting from the left side here, work our way to the right. We have a positive 5, negative 3, so different signs are going to subtract. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 is the bigger number, so this will be a positive 2. The equals comes down. The negative 1x comes down, and the 3's cancel. Okay, now from here, I have a multiplying negative 1, so I'm going to divide by negative 1. But what we do on one side, you go to the other side and do the same. Okay, so 2 divided by 1 is 2. And a positive divided by negative ends up being negative, so that's a negative 2. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1, positive 1 should I say. And then you have x. So the conclusion here is that x is equal to negative 2. Number 8. Number 8, we have, it's a left side problem, and we have negative 4, multiplying negative 4, and subtracting 14. So we're going to get rid of the subtracting 14 first by adding 14 to both sides, and the negative 4x will come down, the 14s will cancel, the equals comes down, and I have a negative and a positive number, so they're different signs, so they're going to subtract. And so that'll be 6 plus 2, that'll be 8. Okay, the bigger number here is 22, and it has a negative, so the final answer here will be negative. Now, I want to get rid of the multiplying negative 4, so I'm going to divide by a negative 4. And what you do to one side, you do it to the other. So we'll divide by negative 4 there. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1 times x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And negative divided by negative gives us positive. So the conclusion is that x is 2.